Wade in the water, wade in the water, children, wade in the water. God's gonna trouble the water. Who's that young girl dressed in red? Wade in the water. Must be the children of Moses and Mary. God's gonna trouble the water. Wade in the water. Wade in the water, children. Yeah. In the water. God's gonna trouble the water. Who's that young girl dressed in white? Wade in the water. Must be the children of the Israelites. God's gonna trouble the water. Wade in the water. Wade in the water, children. Wade in the water. God's gonna trouble.
Good morning. Welcome to the center. Would you like a program?
I am so good. Thank you.
Good morning. Welcome to the center.
Good morning, and welcome to another great day in the greatest place you can be right now. And so I invite you to find a comfortable spot in your seat and just relax. You are home. And I invite you to take in a deep breath. And as you do that, appreciate where you are right here, right now. And exhale back into the room, your agreement to be here. And I'd like you to take another deep breath and become aware of the presence in this room of that thing we call God, or love, ultimate awareness. And you are the perfect channel of that. And exhale that back into the room and add your perfect presence to the power that's already here. And I'd like you to take one more breath and know that as you're inhaling all the power of the universe, all the love there is, all the love you'll ever need. It's right here and right now. And exhale that back into the room. And as you continue to enjoy who you are and where you are, I just want us to be reminded that because we are here, the world is well. Each of us comes from an exciting and interesting and different background and different world. But here is where we remember who we really are, one with that which created us. And we remember that with great joy, with great caring, with great love for each other and the rest of the world. And just knowing that we are at the most perfect place at the most perfect time. There is a world out there that seems to be at odds with certain aspects of itself. But as we remain here in the presence of each other and our Creator, we know that all is well all the time. We know that we are an important member of the world. We know that what we do is important, although sometimes we don't remember that. We remember here that the power to change the world lies within us, and it begins with making a difference for ourselves. Wow, how great we are. And how grateful we are to be here right now in this magnificent place with each other magnificent beings. and I welcome you here. And I'm so glad we're all here together. And please say with me, and so it is.
Thank you, Reverend Patricia. Good morning. Good morning. Oh, I'm so grateful for today, for being here. I'm so grateful that you're here. I'm grateful that he's playing the right song. Super grateful. I love this song. Our thoughts are prayers, and we are always praying. Our thoughts are prayers. Listen to what you're saying. Seek a higher consciousness, a state of peacefulness, and know that God is always there. And every thought becomes a prayer. Our thoughts are prayers, the tools that we create with. Our thoughts are prayers that spirit resonates with. Seek a higher consciousness, a state of mindfulness, and know that God is always there. And every thought becomes a prayer. And every thought becomes a prayer. Face of God. You are the face of God. I hold you in my heart. You are a part of me. You are the face of God. You are the face of God, yes. I hold you in my heart. You are my family. You are the face of God. You are my family. Yes, you are the face of God.
Please lower or close your eyes as I speak in the first person. There is only one in and through absolutely everything. It is joy and peace, hope and love. It is divine perfection. It is safety and security. And I am one with this amazing essence. It is in every part of my being, and in and through absolutely everything, everywhere. I know that whatever is true for me is also true for each person here today. And I know that this day unfolds with ease and grace. That it is absolutely magnificent. That the love in this place is amazing. And this love is spreading out into the world. And it is all encompassing. I'm grateful for each person that showed up here today with an open heart. I'm grateful for Reverend Dan and Reverend Cheryl and Reverend Stacy. I'm grateful for all the Ministry of Prayer team. I'm grateful for all the volunteers, the beautiful music that Patty and Dave play, the sound guys. I'm so grateful for all of this. I know that this is a great and good day. And the words that are spoken today touch each person's heart in a way that they'll never be the same. And I am so grateful and thankful for this truth. And I release my word into the universal law, knowing that it is done. And if you could join me in saying, and so it is.
Thank you, Kim. And so it is. Well, I heard you singing like crazy before, so I know you're into it. I heard you raise your voices. And what a special day. Oh, you want to clap? You want to do all that? Okay. No scratchy dress. I don't care. Just wear it. What a special day. It's crazy. Here we go. I am blessed. Sing it now. I am blessed. Yes, you are. Every day of my life, I am blessed, 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 blessed. When I wake up in the morning, yes, I lay my head to rest. I am blessed. Yes, you are. I am blessed. I'm loved. I am loved. I am loved. Sing it to me now. Every day of my life, I am loved, 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 loved. When I wake up in the morning, I lay my head to rest. I am loved. I am loved. I am healed. I am healed. Say it. I am healed. Yes, we are. Every day of my life, I am healed. I feel it. When I wake up in the morning, I lay my head to rest. I am healed. Woo! I am healed. I am blessed over and over. I am blessed. Come on now. I am blessed. Yes, I am. Every day of my life, I am blessed, 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 blessed. When I wake up in the morning, I lay my head to rest. I am blessed. Woo! I am blessed. So take it up now. I am blessed. I can't hear you. I am blessed. Excuse me. Every day of my life, I am blessed, 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 blessed. When I wake up in the morning, I lay my head to rest. I am blessed. Yes, I am blessed. Oh, I've been blessed. I am blessed. Sing it with me. I am blessed. Yes, you are blessed. I am blessed. Yes, I am blessed. Here he is. Woo! Let's hear it for Reverend Dan.
What are you drinking over there in that container? Mama needs some of your elixir, okay? How we doing here at the center, okay? How we do? Well, good morning, everyone. Good morning, welcome. Thank you for being here. I'm Reverend Dan Jerome. I'm one of the co-senior ministers here, along with Reverend Stacy Hilton and Reverend Cheryl Bell. And we are so happy that you're here. And we have, I'll say, they have a wonderful program lined up for you. They're both speaking, which is always, the tag team, right? and they've been working on it. I've been in communique with them for the last 24 hours, and so this should be really, really exciting. And Patty has a musical guest, so she'll introduce in a while. And I'll just say this, so I don't get in any more trouble this morning. All he has to do is just stand up here. And that would be fine. It would be perfect. And in a few minutes, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about, okay? As a matter of fact, we'll probably just say, shh, shh, no, don't say anything. Just stand. Good morning. All right, now that we should move on. So, let's do the thing that I like to do the most, which is to bless this amazing country that we have the privilege of living in. And so, if it's comfortable for you to do so, please put your hand over your heart and repeat with me, God bless America and the rest of the world. And so part of the world is standing right next to you. Give it a hug and say good morning. I'm going to say one thing. It'll take 1 minute. Okay? Times 7. 1 minute. You be who you are. And you be proud of who you are. And no matter where you go, you be the best of who you are. And one day, when you think something would never be possible, it'll become possible. I'm going to tell you why I'm telling you this. On Friday, I was given the day off from work, and Paco and I were asked to go to Mount Charleston, and the company I work for, let's say it that way, that is very, very conservative, was filming a new commercial. And for the first time in 100 years, they wanted their company to be partly represented by a gay couple. And so we went to Mount Charleston, and there was wardrobe, makeup, okay. The only thing that bothered me a little bit is Paco sat down and she said, "Oh my God, you're gorgeous," and she goes, and then she was done with him. And like an hour and 20 minutes later, she goes, "I think we've almost got it. Don't smile too hard or you'll break the plaster of Paris." So, but it was very meaningful, and it was, I was so Kardashian, I was just exhausted after my photo shoot. Anyway, but again, I would never have dreamed 30-some years ago that ever I would be privileged to be part of the face of that company as the person who I am. And so let it be an encouragement that you are amazing, you are beautiful, you are who you are, and it is unique and magnificent. Be your best, and one day that time will come where opportunity like you never knew possible would become possible. And so I leave you with that. I love you very much. I know you guys will just love today, and thank you for being here.
So, my beautiful friends, we got a little bit more beautifuler this morning. This wonderful gentleman contacted us, and I'm so glad that he did. Truly, I am, Jonathan. Thank you. He is he's a musician, but I would call him a song stylist, and he's a storyteller. He was voted number 4 of Billboard on the Billboard Jazz Charts, number 4. He was also voted in the top 12 jazz singers in New York City. Hello, by the Jazz Reviewer. He is no joke. And I apologize in advance, he is super handsome. Please welcome the very wonderful Jonathan Carrant.
Thank you very much, Patty. Good morning, it's a pleasure to be here. I'm a big Maya Angelou fan, and this song was written by James Taylor. However, it reminds me of a chapter out of one of her books. But in lieu of the chapter, I'll just give you a quote before we do the song. If you must look to the past, do so forgivingly. If you must look to the future, do so prayerfully. However, the wisest thing is to be present in the present, gratefully. The secret of life is enjoying the passage of time. Any fool can do it. There is nothing to it. Nobody knows how we got to the top of the hill. Since we're on our way down, might as well enjoy the ride. The secret of love is opening up your hearts. It's okay to be afraid, but don't let it stand in your way. Anyone knows that love is the only road. Since we're only here for a while, might as well show some style. Give us a smile, and isn't it a lovely ride? Oh, as you're sliding down, gliding down. Try not to try too hard, it's just a lovely ride. And the thing about time is time isn't really real. It's just your point of view. How does it feel for you? Einstein said he could never understand it all. With planets spinning through space, a smile on your face. Welcome to the human race, and isn't it a lovely ride? Try not to try too hard, it's just a lovely ride. Time isn't really real. It's just your point of view. How does it feel for you? Einstein said he could never understand it all. With planets spinning through space, a smile on your face.
to the human face, and isn't it a lovely ride? Oh, as you're sliding down, gliding down. Try not to try too hard, it's just a lovely ride. Sliding down, gliding down. Try not to try too hard. It's just a lovely ride. The secret of life is enjoying the passage of time.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning. Reverend Cheryl's wandering around, don't mind her. How is everybody today? Yeah, you look good. My mom's here. Say hi, Mom. Yeah. So I'm happy to be here today. So my name is Stacy Hilton. I am one of the co-senior ministers, and our theme this month is Revealing Wholeness. So we're talking about healing. And it's been a good month to talk about healing, yes? The talk title today is Let Us Not Fool Ourselves. So in that talk title, we are actually speaking about, as opposed to spirituality, we're talking about the human side of us a little bit more today. And I think that we need to focus on that a little bit more. And I promise not to make it too uncomfortable. I didn't bring my soapbox, so you're safe. But I'd like to start off with a quote from Living the Science of Mind, written by our founder and author of the Science of Mind textbook, Dr. Ernest Holmes. He says on page 252, in the Science of Mind, we do not say everything is all right when it is all wrong. We do not say peace when there is no peace, but rather we try to discover what is wrong and why we do not have peace. We do not say that people are not poor, sick, or unhappy. We ask why these things should be if the original cause of all things is harmonious, perfect, radiant, and happy. And so that's where we need to distinguish the spiritual side from the human side. Because why do we experience these things if we are indeed love in action? If we are indeed whole, perfect, and complete, why are we unhealthy? Why are we broke? Why do we have bad relationships? Why do we hate our jobs? Why do we hate our families? I'm exaggerating a little bit, but you get where I'm going with this. Why do we experience these things? What is it? What is it? There is that side of us that is always perfect. And there is that other side that experiences because Spirit made us in its own image and likeness. And so with that, we're not automatons, as Dr. Holmes refers to us. We're not robots. We get to choose. So if we're choosing unhappiness, and we're choosing to be broke, we're choosing not to be healthy, then we need to look at that. Because we can always change our mind and choose the other part of it, right? We come here on Sundays because it makes us feel good, because we're reminded of who we truly are. That is our true self. This is the other side is our personality and what we've created, based upon belief systems, based upon a whole bunch of stuff. It's amazing to me how we don't always know where our belief systems, where that stuff comes from. They say most of it's formed before you're 6 years old. That's a few years ago for me. I know not most of you, but it's a few years ago, right? A few years ago. So please make that distinguishment between the human side. When you're being human, when you're thinking, God, this is horrible. He cut me off. That's your human side. You can always turn around to the other side and realize who you truly are. I love classes, and I love classes because I get to talk about both sides of myself, right? And I get to hear about both sides of all of you that take classes. And we had a wonderful class, a whole wonderful year actually, that ended, I don't know, May, June? It all runs together now. And I had a great class and a great teaching assistant. And really, I learned a lot about, from the final project. You know, that's usually the big thing. The last 10 weeks of class, we all do a final, well, we don't all do a final project, but the students do a final project. And one particular one, that happened at Maryland actually gave, and she made me rethink something that I do. She talked about she brought all of these products. She must have spent hours gathering all of that stuff together. All of these products that are natural and better for the environment. Now that's something that I don't focus on. I'm mostly a people person. I'm mostly that social action, social justice, you know that. That's why I said I'm not bringing my soapbox today. I may a little bit, but not right now. It won't be bad, I promise. But she made me rethink some of the cleaning products that I'm using. I mean, things that I was just not, I mean, I guess I knew that I could be doing something a little healthier for the environment, but it never really resonated with me. And so I want to be in alignment with this teaching because it's so important to me in as many aspects as I can. I leave some stuff where it is, as we tell you to. You take what you want. But this was really hit me that, hey, I can really make a difference with a few minor tweaks. Why not? So I went to Trader Joe's and bought some of the natural products. Got some different kind of deodorant that's a little healthier for me. I still like the perfume. I still like the pointy shoes. But I'm changing where I can. And that's what makes a difference, right? It makes a difference. So the environment is now something that I'm really focusing on a little bit more because we see some of what's going on. And why wouldn't we leave the planet a better place? Right? Got a little video also if you would like to show that for me.
This is floating out there, and all these animals are being confined. Today, there's only plastic. You cannot go into the beach without seeing trash.
This Hawaii is my Hawaii. The meaning of Malama Honua really is, Malama means to care for something, to cherish something. Honua, if you translate it from our language, means our earth. In a deeper sense, Malama Honua is about caring for that piece of earth where you come from. Wherever that place is that you call home.
It breaks my heart that our islands here are just like a filter for all this plastic pollution that's in the ocean.
Even though a lot of it's winding up in Hawaii because of the currents, it's the whole world that's throwing away plastic.
Our water bottle, plastic packages, netting,
Plastic utensils.
part of a car.
We also found black styrofoam.
People in Hawaii throw away over 50,000 pounds of polystyrene, of styrofoam, every single day.
Hawaii as a state is the highest per capita user of styrofoam.
It's next to impossible to recycle styrofoam. It's just economically infeasible.
The reason why it's so detrimental is because it finds its way up the ocean food chain.
Fish eat styrofoam thinking it's other food, and they get not only the styrofoam in their bodies, but chemicals that have been absorbed onto it. We eat the fish that have eaten styrofoam.
The turtle swallows plastic. It can get caught in the intestines, it can block food, it can cause the turtle to starve to death.
Albatrosses go out to sea to get food for their chicks. They come back and give the plastic to their chicks, and the chicks die from having all the plastic in their stomachs instead of real food.
This all comes from albatross regurgitating it up. This is styrofoam.
This is fishing line.
I didn't know they think fishing line was food.
So what we choose to do is really going to determine what our future is going to be like. Whether you get to see healthy turtles, whether you get to see a healthy ocean,
we can do something about this. This soon will be our world, and we're going to have to protect it.
The main stuff that styrofoam is actually used in is take-home boxes. There's no reason to have styrofoam.
All of this talk about, oh, it's not plate lunch if you don't have it in styrofoam. That is nonsense. Plate lunch is, if it's cheap, if it tastes good, and if you can take it away,
It all comes back to us.
It's really important to make new decisions and change our daily behavior.
We are linked together. That whether you're from Hawaii, whether you're from Miami, Florida, we're all connected on this place that we all call home. And it's up to each one of us, wherever we are, to care for that place. It's our responsibility to care for our home.
I love what the lady said when she said it's important to make new decisions. I don't think we consciously do things to, I mean, sometimes we do, obviously, right? But I think for the most part, we're just not aware, or we're not taking the time to think about things. It's something that's convenient. And convenient takes over really the larger vision sometimes. And I'm not saying that we all need to do it, but for me, it's what is driving me right now. It's something that I'm paying attention to. And so maybe some of you will join me in that. Say with me, if it's to be, it's up to me.
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 See, it's up to each of us. Whatever you have passion for, whatever you have, is something that's on your heart or on your mind to practice is what you should be practicing. And as long as it's about, if it comes from the pure spirit, if it's not for, to destruct anything, then it's perfect. It's perfect, perfect. Sure you are.
Perfect timing.
Facebook. Turn one of us off. Not me. Good morning, everyone. Good morning. Now, something you said, of course, my talk is different now. I don't know whose pen that is. But a little bit what we're talking about today is spiritual bypass. And I know I didn't listen to Stacy's talk, but I know she brought it up a couple weeks ago. I know I said I was, and I didn't. We don't. The idea is, and she already said, we're not pretending that events in our lives and the lives of those around us is not happening. We would be living in spiritual la-la land, right? Otherwise, and we often hear that, some of us do. Some of us do. I think I have the definition of spiritual bypass, Russell. And so a spiritual bypass or spiritual bypassing is a tendency to use spiritual ideas and practices to sidestep or avoid facing unresolved emotional issues, psychological wounds, unfinished developmental tasks. And this term was introduced in the early 1980s by John Wellwood, a Buddhist teacher and psychotherapist. And I wasn't really checking my Facebook page, but I had saw a more extensive definition that I wanted to read to you all. Now it has me making a phone call. Hold on. I know, don't mind me. Oh, don't mind this. All right, people. I told her this was going to be easy. Spiritual bypassing is the use of spiritual practices and beliefs to avoid dealing with our painful feelings, unresolved wounds, which I've already said. it is much more common than we might think. In fact, it's so pervasive as to go largely unnoticed, except in its more obvious extremes. Part of the reason that this is that we tend to not have very much tolerance, both personally and collectively, for facing, entering, and working through our pain. Strongly preferred pain-numbing solutions, regardless of how much suffering such remedies may catalyze. I feel like I personally walk a very thin line between reality, my life, and spiritual bypassing, especially when I think about my mom's transition. You know, because it creates a lot of sorrow and pain for me. And I can just easily say, oh, you know, of course she's 75 and blah, blah, blah. But it still was sudden, and I still experience sorrow to this day. But what I notice is I cannot do sorrow and joy at the same time, because every time I discover a new reason that I chose her as my mother, which, believe me, has been a lifetime adventure. So like, how did I get in this family, you know? But every time I discover a new reason, I feel such joy about it. And what I know is we all walk a fine line between spiritual bypass and reality. You know, I didn't even want to talk to anybody. And the one thing that did get me to move forward is I thought, you know what, she could have been 125, and I still would not have wanted her to leave this plane before me, right? And so that probably sounds very weird, but it gave me comfort in knowing that I was never going to be ready for her to go. No matter how she went, or no matter what. You know, we live in a world of cause and effect, and we are limited by nothing but our belief. Nothing but our own belief system. You know, some of you know that my niece Alana is at camp, boot camp, I call it, but it is also a treatment center. She has depression, and it's way more severe than either of us or any of us or our family thought. And I talk to her on we do Skype family therapy. So I found out that's what it was. I didn't know that's what it was. And she says she got up one morning and she was just not in a good mood. She was in a bad mood. And this is a place you really can't walk around and be in a bad mood, because you get privileges for doing what you're supposed to do. And she didn't want to talk to anybody. She didn't want anybody to talk to her. Then she says, I wanted to just go and clean something and scrub something. And I'm like, hello, who is this? I was thrown for a minute about that, but then she went on to tell me, to talk about that some more. And then I said, what do I always say? What do I always say? And I knew that she knew, because I do always say it, that it's a choice to be in that bad mood. I don't expect you to acknowledge it, but make a different decision. It is really, I said to her, I said, I know it's not easy. Because there's going to be one day you're going to be so sick and tired of being in this feeling of, just feeling bad, that you're going to make a different decision. And I know that it's not easy, but I know I'm making it sound simple, because it is, but honey, I know it's not easy. But I felt good that she knew what I was going to say. I'm like, make a different decision. It's a choice. It is all a choice. We had a wonderful Wednesday night service with, and our speaker was our very own, what is her name? Heather. And I know your name. It's just like my mind just went woof. And I'm sure Reverend Stacy's going to talk about that. But It was a reminder, I know. It was a good thing to remember. She was reminding me of things that I hadn't thought of specifically in a while. And I appreciated that so much, more than you can ever know. And if you weren't here Wednesday night, shame on you. But you know, Ernest Holmes, our founder and author of the Science of Mind textbook, on page 184, he doesn't call it spiritual bypass. But I think this might be what he may have been talking about, changeless reality. And what I was, is that it? Yes. Spirit is changeless reality. That which we call personality is the instrument through which spirit operates. But spirit can operate for the individual only by operating through the individual. Spirit is never bound by the form it takes and is not affected by any apparent cause or condition, but is forever free. Spirit not only fills all forms, but surges around them and through them. Ice is formed from water. All ice is some form of water. Just so God and man exist in an eternal state of unity, the solid and the liquid are one substance. You know, even, and that's what when I talked to her being my niece Alana, that is what I want to remind her of. Not only that she has a choice, but in our oneness, we are all one. You know, just because you don't watch the news, or just because you don't want to know what's going on in the world, it's only one of us. It only takes one of us to be a majority, because we are one. So why do I watch 90 seconds of the news? Because I have to know what's going on. I personally want to know. That's my prayer list for the week. I cannot, because I think that is another definition of spiritual bypass. Not wanting to see what's going on in the world, not watching the news. I'm not saying watch it 24/7. I'm not talking about constantly negative news or constantly negative things. But to be aware and have a choice and you know, just to know what's going on around you. You know, like Stacy looked up the video, and she was talking about, she's on this kick now. Our cleaning products, oh my God, the only thing I've been able to hold on to is bleach, I think. And it's probably about to go. But she's changed every other cleaning product in the house. You know, I walk a fine line, and I know we all do, between, you know, authenticity and that spiritual bypass. And I just want you to know it's okay. It's okay, but it's still a choice. And you can make a different decision. And just stop it. You know, we're all practitioners, I think. You may have a license or you may not, but we're all practitioners. We all are practicing life, right? The Science of Mind textbook, Ernest Holmes, reminds us, if you cannot walk into, say, a hospital room, and if you see and not see sickness, then don't go. Because the idea is to see that person as the spiritual perfection that they are, whether it appears otherwise. And that is not the spiritual bypass. However, it is, we're acknowledging it because we know where they are, but you want to be able to not wallow in that sickness and just remember and remind them just by your love and your presence that who they are, because that is what they are, right? You know, I can give so many examples of spiritual bypass in my own life, and I think if you all think about it, you can too. I remember when I had a seizure before my mom passed, and I went to the emergency room, and it was a fluke. I've never had a seizure before, so in my mind, it probably was never going to happen again. And I was given a referral to a neurologist and everything. And, I'm like, well, I'm just going to have the ministry of prayer team pray, which is good because I didn't have another one for 6 months almost, but I did have another one. I went to the emergency room. The doctor, it was the same doctor on duty because it was 2 in the morning again, and he said, "Did you go to that doctor I referred you to?" And he told the nurse, "Cut her loose," because I told him, "No, I didn't go." No, I did go, but I didn't keep up with the appointments and stuff. He said, "Cut her loose," and the nurse was like, "But her blood pressure is over 200." He said, "Cut her loose," and so I took that to mean, if she doesn't care, why am I bothering even doing anything for her? She didn't do her part. So to me, not being a spiritual bypass is doing your part. So then I went to the neurologist. There's not a test I have not taken. Just so you know. Gina's seen me at the doctor all the time. There is not a test I haven't taken, but I haven't had a seizure since. So I think you move in that direction of, we always talk about, and we'll talk about this more in the coming months, but treat and move your feet, meaning to pray and do what you're supposed to do. Do you know what that is all the time? No, but you gotta move. You gotta go in the direction that tells the universe that you care about you.
Preventive maintenance.
Okay. Thank you. I think I was on a soapbox. No, I didn't think so. We'll let Reverend Stacy tell you a couple more things.
Hello. I want to read out of this thing called you. I said, Dr. Holmes does not talk a lot about our humanness, so I get thrilled when he does. I know, I'm kind of crazy. Chapter 4, the universe is one vast system. All the laws of nature conspire to benefit mankind. But these same laws automatically protect the integrity of nature. It is as though nature said, "All right, little man, the game is yours. Play it as you see fit. I'm going to serve you, but don't fool yourself. I'm going to reflect right back to you with exactness what you really are. If you don't like what is happening, I'm not going to be disturbed. You are the arbiter of your fate. You're the captain of your soul." It's amazing to me how many practitioners, non-practitioners, and ministers that I hear. It's almost as if there's this outside entity, that God in the sky with a white beard, that we think is going to save us from something. It is true, the universe does spiral upward. It does. And so if we are not to be, then I guess that we will carry ourselves right out of here, divided with all the styrofoam and everything else. Some days it seems like that. It's not quite that bad. But some days it feels like that if you watch the news, even the fake news. But it's up to us to truly do something. We walk these two worlds also, and sometimes we play like we're religious scientists, and sometimes we play like we're waiting for the guy in the sky. We know God is within. We know who we are. We know that if we truly want to create a world that works for everyone, that it's up to us to change our thinking. We know that how good it feels when we're here together, as diverse as we are and as inclusive as we are. The world's diverse. I mean, God covered that. It's the inclusion part that we have an issue with. So I love that Reverend Dan and Papa were included in this thing with his no-name company. We have to practice the art of inclusion so that everybody gets to know that we're all the same. That was what I absolutely loved about Heather's talk on Wednesday night. I mean, it was perfect, rooting for love. And I can so see that going to I just imagine, for those of you that were here, if you just go and sit in somebody's living room and just talk amongst one another and get to know each other without all the craziness. I mean, people will say the craziest things, the most impolite, rudest things. And you're like, why would you say that? Why would you do that? Why would you be so hurtful? Why would you be so inconsiderate? Why are you walking around so unconscious? So, I'm hoping that Heather will come back and talk more about that rooting for love. Because in every story, I place myself in every story. Heather and I look nothing alike. I'm a little taller than she is. I mean, but you could feel who she was and her working her way back to love in every situation, in every story. And that's what we all have to do. And I'm not saying we all don't do it, but we all have to keep doing it with our family members that go crazy over this crazy politics right now. We have to do that when we see things in the environment, whether you believe this or you think that's fake. The thing that I showed, the video that I showed, if you think that's fake, okay. But if you have a passion for it, we have to do something. Yes, we can pray about it. And, as Reverend Cheryl said, we've got to move our feet. There is nothing that's going to save us from ourselves, except for our own, uplifting our own consciousness. I love rooting for love. I'm rooting for love. And I know we are cause and effect. Everything we do, every thought we have with feeling behind it, is acted upon by our belief system, which is the law of mind and action. Now sometimes that can be scary. Well, at least in my head, I don't know. Sometimes it really can be. But what is it that you believe? I always ask that question because, we say change your thinking, change your life. Change your belief, change your reality. That's what has to happen. If we do things that don't make any sense, the world is changing at a more rapid pace than it ever has. Like a couple years ago, there was no Airbnb, Uber, Lyft. We didn't know anything about these things. There's an opportunity for you to share your car now. You guys seen that? Car sharing. There's workplaces, people that are entrepreneurs sharing workspaces. I mean, there's great ideas. But we're going to have to be not divided to connect with one another so that we can do this stuff. Because there's some great stuff that technology is bringing, and we're still playing black and white cards. Come on. It's over. It's done. Game over. Nobody won that. Let's practice connection. Let's practice rooting for love and stop fooling ourselves. I had a lovely conversation, this is my wine segment. Lovely conversation at the wine table. I pour wine for those of you that, I don't think we have too many new people, but I pour wine as my second or third gig. And this lady, it's a great way to connect with people, right? We're all on an even playing field. She comes over, she wants to try the beer that I had, or the wine that I had. I pour, we talk, and exchange. It's lovely. Well, this lady she didn't want to drink my beer. I wasn't offended, I didn't want it either. But her friend, so she went around the corner, and then she came back and she wanted to ask me something, where something was. And she starts talking about, she's from Washington, and starts talking politics. And normally I'm like, oh God, no. Because I already knew in the first couple sentences, you kind of get that vibe where it's going. And it was a lovely conversation. And I said this about the conversation that I had with Mickey and Aldo and Juanita and Monique. We do see things differently because we have different experiences. But what's wrong with an exchange? I don't have to agree with you. And we can't disagree on experience. How can you tell me what it's like to be a cute girl with dimples? That's your cute girl with dimples. How can you? You can't tell anybody what their life is like or what their experience is like or what their belief system is based upon. There's no possible way. Belief systems. Reverend Cynthia would always tell us a story about a family that they would have Sunday dinner together, and the mom would make a roast every Sunday. And she'd cut off a quarter of the roast. She'd cut off a quarter of the roast, and they'd have dinner. And so later on in life, as the family got older, the daughter took on this responsibility of making family dinner, and she cuts off, the mom sees her, she cuts off the quarter of the roast, and it's like, what are you doing? Why are you doing that? Just because that's how you did it, Mom. She said, well, I did it because I didn't have a pan big enough. Do you know why you believe that what you believe? Because I bet a lot of things don't make any sense in your life. I'm telling you, I know for me. And so I'm examining them. I'm questioning. I'm talking to people. I'm connecting with people. Things that, I don't want to go there. But wait, okay, it's going to be a little uncomfortable, but just for a moment. And then we're going to have a lovely conversation. Or we're going to just stop it. And I love you, and we just part ways. That's how this world is going to change. And I really truly believe that we should leave it better than we came into it. Yes. No shaming them.
No shaming? Oh, I don't think I do. That's for me. Am I on this? Oh, thank you. I had told that story about my niece and I wasn't going to, so I'll keep her in your prayers, okay? We are, as Reverend Stacy said, all spiritual beings having a human experience, and I know that sounds so trite, but it's the truth, It's the truth of who we are on this earth. We can't not separate our human experience from the truth of our divinity, any more than we can separate our divinity from our humanness. All that we are, both human and divine, make up our reality, make up who we are. We're all those things. And I also want to remind you again that there's only one of us in consciousness. And it only takes one of us to make a majority. So I remind you of that because on Wednesday nights we have, led by our very own Aldo, the second Wednesday night we do what we call Heart of Peace meditation, where we come together and we sit and we meditate for an hour or over an hour on peace. And I know that is making a difference in the world. And we have how many other centers, 200 or so other centers do the same thing. So that we're attempting to put that vibration out into the world and just cover it with love. I love that was one of the things that Heather talked about on Wednesday night is just blanketing everything in front of you, or everything in love. Can you imagine that? Doesn't that sound good?
Love shows up.
Absolutely. The vision for the Heart of Peace is, and the reason they come together regularly is so that their vision is to recognize our own inner peace as we become still and connected with Source. We begin to let go of the blocks of our own inner peace. And we follow the guidance and embrace inner peace in our individual lives and as a group. And as we come together, we practice that. And we have a little discussion after. And it's a good thing. It's a great feeling. It's a good place to be if you're available on Wednesday night the second Wednesday night of every month, I suggest that you come. My favorite teacher, my only teacher, Dr. Maura Fox, she would always, her saying was, the divine mind in me knows and the divine mind in me shows me what I need to do. And having that time to meditate, it's your divinity showing you what it is that you're passionate about. Am I done? And you're done? Okay, cool. All right then. So repeat after me. I am a perfect expression of the divine. Thank you very much.
Please welcome up again another perfect expression of the divine, Jonathan Perrott.
Wade in the water, wade in the water, children, wade in the water. God's gonna trouble the water. Who's that young girl dressed in red? Wade in the water. Must be the children of Moses and Lamb. God's gonna trouble the water. Wade in the water. Wade in the water, children. Yeah. In the water. God's gonna trouble the water. Who's that young girl dressed in white? Wade in the water. Must be the children of the Israelites. God's gonna trouble the water. Wade in the water. Wade in the water, children. Wade in the water. God's gonna trouble the water. Yeah, Dave. Who's that young girl dressed in blue? Wade in the water. Must be the children of God's gonna trouble the water. Wade in the water. Wade in the water, children. God's gonna trouble the water. You don't believe I've been redeemed. Wade in the water. Just see the Holy Ghost walking through me. God's gonna trouble the water. Wade in the water. Wade in the water, children. Wade in the water. God's gonna trouble the water. Yeah. God's gonna trouble, God's gonna trouble, God's gonna trouble the water. God's gonna trouble the water.
Ministers to please come forward. Hey. Any visiting ministers or practitioners, you can come forward too if you so choose. Awesome. And our own, very own practitioners, please come forward. As I always say, the greatest resource and the least used are practitioners. They are here for this entire center, for each and every one of you. If you would like to pray with them or just talk to one of them, that would be great. We love either one of those things. Thank you. You want to stand and connect?
Reverend Cheryl had 2 microphones. Like, how many microphones does that minister? It's a big message. Oh, so if you would just close your eyes with me. Oh, and just breathe in that beautiful, beautiful energy that Sunday always gives us. Oh, and I'm so grateful for all that has taken place. For the reminder to not fool myself. The reminder to be who I truly am. And when I'm not, I can always make a different choice. Oh, I'm grateful for this beautiful, beautiful, hot Sunday afternoon. And knowing that this love that I feel right here in this sanctuary, I take it and I spread it to each and every person that I meet. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And together we say,
and so it is.
Let's sing our peace song.
Yes, there is peace on earth, and now it begins with me. Yes, there is peace on earth, the peace that was meant to be. With God as our power, loved ones all are we. Now we walk with each other in perfect harmony. Yes, peace begins with me. Let this be the moment now. With every breath I take, let this be my joyous vow. To take each moment and live each moment in peace eternally. Yes, there is peace on earth, and now it begins with me.
So repeat after me. Something wonderful is happening to me right now.
Something wonderful is happening to me right now.
I know this in my mind.
I know this in my mind.
I feel it in my body.
I feel it in my body.
And so